Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Rinse and Repeat podcast. Turn up the volume. It's time to rinse off the BS and repeat what's real. I'm your host, Marcy Manna, and thanks for tuning in. Today's guest is a hairstylist of over 15 years, salon owner, and creator of the hair show, the Hair Symposium in Spokane, Washington. Danielle, welcome to Rinse and Repeat.
Hello, I am so excited to be on here. Thank you for having me, Marcy.
Of course, we are super excited. So let's go ahead and just dive on in. All right, so you're a salon owner of Craft Salon in Spokane, right? What made that the right home base for you? Is that where you're from?
Well, yes, I was raised in Spokane. So I was born in Hawaii, but my mom was raised in Spokane. So we moved up here, and Spokane is definitely my home. I've been here my whole life, and I love Spokane. It's it's like a really big small town.
Yeah.
So there's so many perks to that because everybody knows, everybody, and I think that it allows you to, be kind of like a big fish in a little pond.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like that's how Omaha, Nebraska is too. It's just very it has the big city vibes, but it's really not. So it's like everybody knows everybody. And I feel like that can either play a big part in your favor or maybe not, depending on how everybody feels about you.
Yes. I've been lucky. I always say, it's been a blessing for my business. So I'm glad.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so what was your original vision kind of when you opened your doors or when you first wanted to be a salon owner?
Well, honestly, so I grew up, I was first an assistant inside of a salon, and then I was a commission stylist. I felt like I hit my ceiling pretty quickly, which I don't think I actually did. I just think that the mentoring inside of the salon back then wasn't what it could have been. And that was something that I really sought out, out of beauty school. And then I went on to being a booth renter. And at that time, I also was doing some brand education. And so I loved education. I loved traveling to other salons. And I felt like outside of the actual classes that I was always teaching, it came to a really personal conversation between me and the salon owner about the hardships of what it was taking to crank that wheel.
Right.
And so that just really inspired me to open a space where education and mentorship and everything that I craved and then what I felt like was missing out there really existed inside of my salon space. And I think you've been to my salon space, Marcy, but it's very open.
Yeah.
And we did our everything based around being able to move it and transform the space into education. So in my early years of salon ownership, I hosted barber battles, and I would do community events for with workouts and pop-up shops, and I had a lot of fun in the beginning growing our brand and growing our name in the community, but education was always the huge focal point inside of my in-house education, and then being able to bring in educators. So and that's actually how the Hair Symposium started. I started it inside of my salon, and then it just has grown ever since then.
I love that. Is amazing. So what did people around you kind of start to think when you started dreaming beyond just, owning a salon and running the salon?
Well, I'll never forget, there was a salon owner in town that was kind of like an OG. She had a really busy, huge, commission salon team. And I'm a hybrid salon. Okay. So I have a different, and that was new to the area. Yeah. And I remember she took me out to coffee, and I was so excited because I thought, oh my gosh, she's going to be my mentor. She is, excited for me. That's so cool. And it was the exact opposite. She took me out to coffee to sit me down to be like, what the hell do you think you're doing, girl? And God. It was so I feel like there's always that gap between almost generations. I think our industry is in one of those gaps again. Yes. And I just feel like she kind of has gotten blockbustered out since then. Yeah. And, but there was also a huge support and push with my generation of stylists and like the brand education, people that had known me in the community for just being like a lover of education and training and all of that. So yeah, I feel like I got support for my salon right away. Like, I remember some of my beauty school besties, as soon as I opened my doors, they were like, okay, girl, I'm coming to work for you. So it's been such a fun ride. I mean, this industry is truly, it hands you your best friends.
Yeah, I know. It is honestly an incredible industry. I've tried a couple of times, in my life to leave it, and I always come back.
Yeah,
it's
people
just,
do.
It's so fun. Yeah. So take us back. Like, what got you into doing hair in the first place?
I don't know. I was always just that girl in high school. I did hair for
Was
dances.
too. Yeah.
I was pulling your hair out of like caps, like highlighting it.
Yes.
I would cut, I would just do it. I loved it. I remember loving going, like, my family could only afford to go to Supercuts and like salons like that, but I still loved the experience. Like, I literally couldn't wait to go home and like style my hair and do all of the different things. And then when I got into high school, yeah, I just was that girl in high school. And then when I got out of school, I really didn't know what I was going to do. And I was working at like our local hospital, and I just was like, I cannot do this forever,
God,
so
no.
yeah. And at that point I had my daughter, so I was a young mom, and I just thought, I really need to think in long term here, and who do I want to be when I'm sending her off to school? And if I start now, I really can change that trajectory.
Yeah.
And I think that is, that's just something that the beautiful thing about like motherhood for me was that it really, it forced a lot of integrity into my life, and she gave me so much purpose because I wanted to be able to give her so many more opportunities. And I thought, well, I'll go to school because I was kind of good at it.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, that'll be fun, right? And then I got to school and my whole world just opened up because I got introduced to the entire industry and seeing how many places there are for people and how your career could really just continue to evolve. And I just thought, this is so underrated, and this is exactly where I need to be. So yeah, I just fell in love with it.
I know, same. So now that you have been, kind of behind the chair for a really long time, over 15 years, right?
Over 20 years.
20 years. Oh my gosh, yes. So what keeps you excited, after doing it this long? How do you stay motivated?
The hair symposium definitely helps because it allows me the opportunity to get to know so many more people inside of the industry, like spread out, especially at this point of our growth. I'm like getting nationwide, like even getting to do the podcast with you. Like, it's such a cool opportunity. And then I would say that like my team is so inspiring. At this point, it's like all Gen Z. I think there's like 3 or 4 millennials on the team. We're like holding it down, but they are so young and so cute and eager, and it's just really cool. Like, I think about the salon owners that got blockbustered out when I was young and I was eager, and they just thought that I was like, they thought their way, the old way, was the way to follow. Yeah. And it's kind of like that perfect balance of like taking some of the old, but then having that fresh mindset and just always being open to being a student and a learner even after 20 years.
Yeah, I would definitely say it is difficult. I've been in the industry for 26 years. I'm obviously a millennial, but I have always just like made it a point to continue to know what is going on out there in the world and what the new things are. And I think that, you're right. There are some people that they just can't move beyond that. And it's sad because it really, I just think our industry is just so exciting, and there's so much change and growth that can happen. So yeah, I think that that's definitely important, right? So what does like a normal week look like for you now? Kind of splitting your time between a stylist, because you're still behind the chair, right? And then an owner,
Yes.
and now an event founder. Like, how do you even do all of that?
Yes. Well, I work 7 days a week. This is a Sunday. We're recording this on a Sunday, right?
Yeah.
So you just like, I feel like in life, you get what you have to have. And right now my plate is very full.
Right.
And I'm okay with that. Now at this point, my daughter is in college. So this last year I'm back to having, I'm actually have more time I have ever had in my life to myself. And and I'm still really young and eager. So I'm like all in on my career for at least another 10, I would say 15 years, and I really want to build that next chapter. And I think that this is so worthwhile. But yes, I love working behind the chair. I definitely don't feel done with that. I work 2 days a week behind the chair. I think that gives me an edge to know what's going on in the world and what clients and trends and all of that is happening. It allows me to connect and like keep a pulse with my salon team and like what's going on the salon floor. There were a few years ago where I stepped away from the chair for a little bit, and it was because of my design of salon, of having a mentorship and everything. It really is necessary for me to be in there and like show them to do. So And I love the women that sit in my chair. I don't know about you, but clients are sent to us from like the angels of the earth because they come to you at the right time. They come with an idea, or they know the perfect person you're looking for. And so I get a lot of inspiration from my clients too. So yeah, I love that. I am in the salon another like 2 or 3 days a week, just helping out the team. We do a ton of classes. And I'm grateful for the world that we live in now. I have the perfect blend, not the perfect blend. I'm always working on that. Nothing is perfect, but we're really lucky to be leading in this day and age where I can have a mixture and support of virtual education versus in-house education versus, and I have so much, I don't know. I just feel like we have a good flow at the salon right now.
Yeah.
And then of course I work on the hair symposium 3 or 4 days a week, just kind of where I can plug it in. A lot of times I'll be doing meetings for the symposium at the salon because I think that that's like easy too. So then if they need anything, I'm right there. So
awesome. Let's get into the hair symposium. Because that's like your big thing that you have going on. So where did that idea actually come from?
Well, like I said, I've always hosted a lot of education inside of my salon. And years ago I did barber battles and all of that. I love like bringing the community in. And so the first symposium started in my salon in 2022. So it was after like the shutdown plus like the heightened craze plus everybody leaving our salon. After COVID, I lost a lot of my like industry besties. A lot of people like kind of shifted and changed what they were doing. And so then I was like leading this salon team that I'd always dreamed of. And then I felt like, frick, now I'm the smartest person in the room and the only person that's supposed to be like cranking the inspiration. Everybody's looking at me and I'm looking around like, where did everybody go? So, in-person education had really kind of gone away for a while. It had changed. I had attended the Tony Robbins Business Mastery event and that like lit my world on fire. And so it was like, I want to bring that type of a feeling and a weekend, and also, within our industry, and show my team what that feels like. And to be able to show them what I love about hair shows is like the bite-sized education. Because as a stylist, it doesn't matter how long you've been doing hair, you go through phases where you kind of need to reinvent your inspiration. And when you're curious about something and you aren't ready to quite invest in all of the time or everything it takes to get that get the certification, you get to have these little pockets of education and really see what direction you want it to go. And then I've also loved just connecting with hair. There is nothing like a room full of hairstylists, and not just a room, but like a hotel full of hairstylists. Like the energy is just different. And
Yes,
so,
it is.
you know, I wanted to bring that. I wanted to show my salon team that there were no hair shows going on at that time. So I just created my own little like weekend of it. And we did yoga together. We ate meals together. Like, it was so much fun. And because we lived in social media, just that little bit of content that got pushed out on people's stories, by the next year, people were asking, can I come? Can I come? Can I come? That was the year you came. We had moved it over into a different space in my building because we outgrew my salon space.
Yep.
And that was the year that brands started to get involved. You know, it's not just hairstylists that are eager for connection and in-person education. It's the brands that miss it too.
Yep.
So I just think that for me, it was like the perfect storm between everything that had happened in our industry and just like my heart of loving education. And then also I feel like I'd already established that role inside of my community. People knew that they could count on the education coming to my salon, all of that. Like, even still, people are like, oh, how did you promote this? How did you do this? You know, it's been mostly on Instagram and word of mouth, but that's what's so incredible about our industry is that it spreads like wildfire. And when you build trust with people, they've just been so supportive. So it's been amazing.
Yeah, definitely. What was the moment that you knew like this wasn't just an idea anymore, that this was like actually happening?
It was the second year that the brands had gotten involved. We had George Learn, the owner of Salon Services. He got up and spoke, and it was like I had goosebumps the whole time, which I have had the opportunity to hear him speak a couple of different times, but he's very inspirational. He cares about all of those touch points. You've heard Lance speak, you know, with Amplify. Yes. That was like, he sent an electric wave through that room.
Wow.
And I had recently joined bringing in Amplify Extension, so that was it. And they had just sat me down afterwards and had a conversation with me and just said, listen, you are doing something that's really needed right now. And we want to continue to support this, and we want to grow this. So they kept introducing me to other brands, and it's just grown since then. I think that it's amazing when you have relationships that I don't know, that it just kind of folds into things that you couldn't even dream of.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, that again is like one of, I think, the best things about our industry. I mean, that's even kind of why I started the podcast. You know, it's like I meet so many amazing people, and they have like the most amazing stories, and it's just, it really is incredible, like what those connections and our network, you know, really can do. What was like the scariest part of you kind of putting yourself out there and your name really behind a show like this?
Well, I still live in the scariest part. Like, it's not gotten easy for me yet. It's only year 4. I think maybe in like 10 years, I don't know.
That's fair.
But I feel so challenged by this, and that's what I'm drawn to. And at this point, after being a 20-year veteran, I'm chasing the things that fucking scare me these days.
Yes, you have
not
to.
Not much does anymore. Yes, and it's such a good way. I feel so stretched from this. You know, hearing people question me and ask for data about my ticket sales and how many salon owners versus this person. Like, the first couple years, I wasn't even collecting data. Like, I didn't even know that was something that people would, you know, but then when you start having conversations with really big brands, they're setting budgets, they have an expectation. So that has been an amazing learning curve. And then it's just groomed that muscle. And that's what I tell my team, like, I love hearing no's. Obviously, we all want to hear yeses, but if life was all yeses, this would be such a mundane world, and we wouldn't really sharpen our skill set. So it starts with my team, where I'm like, when you're offering retail and additional services, like, you should hear more no's than you hear yeses. That's a sign that you're doing it right? Like, you're telling everybody about this. And so I think about that myself. Like, I'm not afraid to hear no. I'm not afraid to reach out to my dream person and ask them, you know, shoot your shot. Like,
exactly.
And most people in this industry will greet you with the warmest welcome, even if they say no. But now you're like, I'm in their line of vision. I'm like, okay, girl, you just sit back and watch me, because I'll I'll earn your trust.
Yes, I love that. I mean, the hard is what makes it great, you know?
Yes.
If it wasn't hard, everybody would be doing these things.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so what I love about the show is you've kind of built it around like it's technical mastery, it's business, it's branding, it's leadership. Like, why was it important, for you to go beyond just here's a technique for you?
Because that's what it takes to be a hairstylist, and it's even more so present now, but I've always felt that pressure in the last 20 years, and I think that that's what's kept me going, is that I knew it wasn't just about hair. And yes, we do have to serve our clients well, but oh my gosh, like, we need to pay attention to our profits. We need to understand how to retain not just our clients but our stylists. I want to teach my stylists how to run faster and farther than I did. I don't believe that they should have to do it because that's the way I did it. Like, it's like I think of my daughter, like, I want to set her up for success, and I think that that is my take on, being a salon team leader as well. And then for me, as being a salon team leader and a salon owner, who I became a salon owner because I was pretty good at doing hair. I was pretty good at growing a clientele. I was pretty good at educating people. And so it just kind of like, and I think that that's how a lot of salon owners get started, is like their natural talents take them to that level, and they're like, oh, maybe I should do this. Yeah. But owning a salon and running a business, a profitable business, and a salon team is a totally different game than just doing hair and doing your own thing. So I have spent more time and money in the last 10 years of being a salon owner investing in my personal development and my business acumen, like understanding the finances. I've spent more on learning how to do those things well than my technical skill. Yeah. And I still love taking a balayage class. Don't get me wrong. I love to that is like art to me. But that's almost like the hobby to me at this point. Yep. And so for me, I just really believe that in order to be that successful stylist, and now it's not just salon owners, like, you don't have to fit inside of that box. Like, you could open a podcast, you could open a studio suite, you could start your own brand. Like, that's what I think is so amazing. And so I want to equip every single stylist that walks into the Hair Symposium, not just with skills to get better tomorrow behind the chair, but to really cast that vision long term of where can this industry take me, because it is truly unlimited.
Oh, love that. Okay, so what can people expect this year walking in? So if they're going to attend, what's going to be new? What's going to be exciting? What's going to be different than maybe some of your shows in the past? Because you do have a new location, right?
I have a new location, and it's going to be very different this year because you are going to get to select all of your education based on exactly what you're hoping to learn in your business right now. In the past, it has been every educator on one stage, and everybody is walking through that. But with our growth, last year it was very evident that I needed to have breakout sessions and really niche out the education so that I could keep the stylists totally getting the value that they needed. That it's not necessary for a cosmetology student and a 7-figure salon team owner to be listening to the same AI presentation. So I'm really niching down the specifics of where you're at. The venue that we have is so gorgeous. It's in downtown Spokane, and it's 3 different levels. So there's going to be a main floor where there will be education on a stage there. Very bite-sized education, very inspirational. There's going to be booths. Every educator and sponsor will have, a little experience work center down on the main floor. And then on the second floor, there is going to be 90-minute demos, smaller classrooms for branding, studio suite owners, kind of grouping it into things like that. And then we also have our VIP tickets and our VIP level, which is the 3rd floor. And that'll be reserved for VIP ticket holders that get a hands-on class each day. And then our salon owners who are going to get a salon owners workshop for each morning. And so, we're just going to be able to really tap into, like I said, exactly where we're trying to meet the stylist where they're at and like deepen those relationships between who you need to talk to.
Yeah, definitely. So in everything of education, what do you really think is kind of missing in our industry when it comes to education?
I think that what's missing is the follow through of how to put it into use once you get back into the salon.
Yeah, I totally would agree.
I think sometimes we over consume education and try to perfect things before we get going. And I'm a big believer that like as soon as you learn something, you have to implement it within 48 hours. Otherwise you kind of start to lose it. And it doesn't need to be perfect, but you just need to start implementing that. And then I also think that the other thing that's missing is just that human connection, of course. I think we've gone so far digital that I have stylists every day tell me, oh, I have this client or this thing, I need to look it up. And they're like on TikTok and they're trying to learn something in 90 seconds. Now that's a great reference point. That's fantastic. But I mean, every single time I see some sort of like little, oh, I'm going to put together this gift basket. And then I do it. I'm like, well, that doesn't look like that at all. So it's like, I just think remembering that like becoming a master of our skills and learning the details, that type of stuff happens in person.
Yes. What makes a great educator in your eyes?
Oh, it's so different. This has taught me a lot. Okay, so I'm a really good educator one-on-one. Like, I'm a good mentor. I'm a good salon team leader. Like, if you work with me for the day, we're going to go deep and we're going to talk about the why behind everything and we're going to learn well. I should not be put on stage with 50 people and start describing head sheets and the level of the acidity and like the pH balances. Like that's not. So I think that being an on-stage educator is so different. Like you can't just love education. You can't just love mentoring. Yeah. You have to have a different skill set to be able to present and break things down and make it really simple and digestible. And that's something that I've learned as someone who loves education, loves mentoring, loves bringing in education. But I am often staring at the educators that I bring in and I'm like, girl, you are meant to do this because I try to tell them this every day. So I think there's a big difference.
I do too. It definitely is something that, like you say, it's to speak one-on-one, but to speak one-on-ton is completely different, you know? So you have to be able to, balance both for sure. What would you say is kind of your hardest leadership lesson that you've learned, even just owning your salon?
My hardest leadership lesson, that is a good question. I have learned a lot of things the hard way. I feel like that's actually the only way that I learn. Yes. And I think that that's why I end up like saying I love hard things, because I do think that they're our greatest tools. Recently, I feel like I am starting to get better about not keeping people longer than they should.
Yeah.
And as an employer, it's easy to do that because you build a relationship with people and you care about them and maybe you can see their potential. But I think that letting people go is also such a kind thing when you really care about their future and their growth.
For sure.
And so I think that has been learning how to let people go is one of the hardest things that I learned as a leader. And so, I think that, and I know that intuition a little bit better, and, being able to rehome people and help them find what's going to serve them best is the kindest thing that you can do.
Yeah, definitely. So what would you say, like, what values are kind of non-negotiable in your salon culture?
My non-negotiable values are, you have to be really eager to be part of the team and learn. Like, you have to value that culture. You have to value that. I've brought on people who really want education, but not necessarily want to be a team player, and that doesn't work. I also, I really value transparency and like being able to feel safe enough to ask questions and bring things up. And so that's not always easy to do with a boss. And so it's like, I have to really work hard and set that tone for my team, especially to grow that relationship even in the first like 90 days.
Right.
And to be able to keep that. But I need that from other people. Like if I can't just have a yes girl on my team.
Yeah, definitely. So. What's one piece of advice that you would give a stylist who wants to maybe like build a brand or a business and not just clients, you know?
Yeah, I would say that you're like start now, or you are already starting, like if you're even doing clients, because you are working on your own brand. I always tell that to young stylists. It does not matter who you work for. You're building your business and your like reputation right now, and you never know where that's going to go. If you have an idea of where you want to go, then I would say you need to get into those rooms and start finding people that have done the thing before you and start learning from them. I really believe, community over competition. Like, I love seeing people that have done things better than me, faster than me, before me, because it gives me that proof and that roadmap almost of like how to do it myself. So I would say just get going, find a mentor, get in the right room, and know that you're doing it now.
Yeah. Love it. What part of your journey do people not see from the outside?
A lot, like pretty much 87% of it. It's a lot of work, I work 7 days a week. I am always stressed out and worried about something, and it's about prioritizing and being able to clearly identify what are the most important places where I focus my attention on, and where can I delegate this to. I think that no hair or salon owner is a salon owner because they didn't want to make the industry better. And so, and I just think that tapping into that is so important, and remembering your why.
Yeah. You always have to think about that. I feel like that's what kind of keeps you going,
Yeah.
So how do you handle like comparison, right? Like everybody's going to compare everything in an industry that's so public and visual.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. I feel like there is part of me that still is always like, oh, you fall into that trap of comparison.
Absolutely.
But I also, like, my husband tells me all the time he has no idea where I got all this confidence from. Like, he is like, lady, where did you get all this from? So I think that and not that I don't compare myself to others, but I do think that I know at this point in my life, I'm almost 41 years old, and I've been in the industry for 20 years. I feel like I'm a professional people reader. I'm a girl's girl to the core. And I trust myself. So I know my people are out there, and I will find them and they will find me. And and so for the most part, I just remember that like we are all the same. Like we all compare ourselves, we all wonder, we all feel insecure, we all do this.
Absolutely.
And the ones that are out there winning and doing outstanding and doing all that, it's not because they're better than me, it's because they chose to get out there and do it. So
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Someone less talented than you is doing more just because they're like blindly confident to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, I borrow that blind confidence. I'm like, okay, I'm going to throw a hair show.
Yeah. Amen. I love that. You just got to like go for it. I mean, honestly, I always say, like, what is the worst that could happen? Like, you fail. So what? That you're going to get experience, and nobody can ever take experience away from you. That is something that you can never lose or get taken away from you. So I think that that's fantastic.
Well, and I'm a big believer that, like, what's meant to be yours is yours. Yes. Like, don't worry about the time. You just keep your head down. You have fun. You work hard. Yes. And what's meant to be will be. And and you get tenfold what you put into, especially in this industry, because we work in the best, kindest industry. We have the best people. So, I don't know. I feel like be firm in your goals and flexible in your methods. Like, don't get wrapped up and too caught up in, oh, this didn't go right, I should just shut it all down. It's like, we're just throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Exactly. Yes. Where do you want the hair symposium to go next? Are you thinking bigger city, bigger stage, bigger building, or kind of staying true to who you are?
I think staying true to who I am.
Yeah.
I think that I already have a vision a little bit for how I do want next year to go, and I'm working on some of those speakers now. That's one of the other things that I'm learning, is that big brands and big speakers, they really put their calendar out almost 12 months in advance. Yeah. And so I have had a couple of hopefully next years, and so I'm really trying to, like, fill that gap. But I am excited to expand our network of education and who we rely on. Yeah. I think that there are so many people, especially with the way that the industry is going, that we can borrow their wealth of knowledge, even if they aren't a hairstylist. So I'll say that.
Yeah, no, I love that. Are there, like, bigger programs, partnerships, or even, like, collabs that you're dreaming about?
Yes, absolutely, there is. And I'm a big experience person. Like, I feel like all I really care about is the experience. And I want it to, I want not only our educators and our vendors and our speakers to leave being like, hairstylists are literally the best people in the world. I can't wait to do more with their industry and that, like, niche. But I want the hairstylists and my people, I want them to leave and be like, that changed not just my business, but my life. And that is going to change every relationship and the lens that I use to project my dreams. Like, that's what I want people to leave with. And I love it too. I love being in that room.
Oh, love it. Okay, so we're going to play a game really fast, all right?
Okay.
So this one is easy. It's just basically finish the sentence, all right? So every stylist should...
Every stylist should... every stylist should...
It's a lot harder than you think.
It's so much harder than you think. Every stylist should be able to give a proper shampoo and blowout.
Oh my God, I love that. I love that you totally took that back to, like, old school technical days, right?
Well, you would be surprised at how many people don't. And that's the best part, I'll tell you.
No, I totally agree. That's amazing. Yes, I would 100% agree to that one. Okay, every salon owner should...
Every salon owner should only ask their team to do something that they are willing to do.
Oh my God, that's a good answer too. I love that.
I think about that. I'm like, would I want to do that? I'm like, hell no.
Yeah, no, that's so good. Okay, clients need to stop.
Okay, this one's going to get a little juicy. Clients need to stop having, well, they're not going to, but clients need to stop getting online and blowing up people's lives and days and businesses just because of one inconvenience, or I feel like that
Yes.
has gotten a little out of control.
Oh,
We
I agree.
luckily haven't had anybody go viral, but I've seen those ones, and I know how it feels to even get a bad review or an email back as a salon owner. And
Yes.
some people, like, I had a woman rip one of my stylists apart, and I thought, lady, you probably have grandchildren this girl's age, and you are talking to her, and just like the things that people say. So I think that clients need to remember that stylists are people too, and the expectation to deliver with the type of services that we do today versus 10 years ago.
Yes.
And stop telling people we charge too much. Like, we are literally picking up every hair on your head, and we're pouring into you. Like, I'm like, come on. So I do get a little spicy about that, and I am not allowed to clap back ever because I'm a salon owner. So I feel like I have to, like,
remain
be really
neutral.
great. Yes. But
know.
if I'm being totally honest, that's one thing that just pisses me off.
No, me too. Okay, I'm just going to sidetrack here, but just because you brought it up. I was watching TikTok the other day, and I feel like it was Hair by Lexi that was on there, and she was talking about she got into an argument or something with one of her clients about what a trim was. And I realized by watching that video, I'm like, maybe we do have different expectations of a trim, because to her point, she was doing a trim, which is the same amount of work as a haircut. But all of these people in the comment section, they basically were like, no, it's not. A trim is just a blunt cut on the ends. And so I was thinking, okay, wait, maybe we do have different expectations of that. Because to me, if I'm trimming a half inch off of your ends, I'm also trimming a half inch off of your layers and everything else in the haircut. But maybe that we're not on the same page of that. And I thought, are those two different things? I don't even know anymore.
Yeah, I feel like that's part of social media. Like, one of the pitfalls of it is, like, clients have more vocabulary than ever, but we don't speak the same language.
No.
And kind of connecting those dots, and then they're so quick to, like, go out there. I personally did a consultation with a new client, just 2 weeks ago, and I was so excited to have a new client doing this whole color transformation. She sits in my chair. I mean, this girl has gorgeous hair to the middle of her back, thick ponytail, never been colored. Yeah. And she shows me an AI photo of silver hair with zero dimension. AI. Yes, and I was like, we cannot do this today. I was like, we can start this process, but we're going to have to go into session work and all of these things. She was, like, not having a good day, but she didn't enjoy being told that she couldn't have what she wanted that day. Right. And she had never colored her hair. She had never known. She had kind of had a wild hair and just thought it would be fun. I mean, as a 20-year professional, those are like red flags to me. Yeah. But to them, she truly didn't know. And what was worse is that she felt like I declined the service because I just didn't feel like working hard that day, which is what she said in her review. And it was like, gosh. Oh, no. And I felt like I had handled that so well. You know what I mean? So it's just, it's hard when they just get in their car and think that, I'm going to just do this. And I was like, am I being punked right now? Like, is that real? That just happened? Like, so, you just got to let it roll. But yeah, if I could put a filter on client info, sometimes I would.
Yes. Okay. The beauty industry needs
more in-person education, networking, entire growth events like the Hair Symposium.
Yes, amen.
Yeah.
All right, social media has
the leverage to grow your business so much faster if you use it versus not. And you don't have to have 1 million followers. You don't have to do that. But don't be afraid to use social media. It's a good thing.
It is. You just got to get over yourself, and post.
Yes. Yeah. And you have to take the good with the bad. We just talked about the bad for like 3.5 minutes. Like, it's out there. But there's so much more good out there than bad.
Yeah. Okay, this is a juicy one. The biggest lie in our industry is...
The biggest lie in our industry is that you can grow. I don't know. I feel like the overnight success lie.
Yeah.
You can grow way faster, but there are parts of you that can't grow, even keep up with if you go viral or that type of success, that client demand. There are parts of our industry and parts of learning how to be a professional people person that just take time and skills and like that in-person experience. And that's a good thing too. I saw somebody post the other day, like, thank God I didn't get what I prayed for right out the gate, because I wouldn't have learned all those lessons.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I was like, oh, I needed to hear that today, because sometimes even with the show, I'm like, I want to be able to sell 1,000 tickets. And it's like, no, I need to earn the right of selling 400 tickets first. Yeah. And I need to earn the right of serving those people first. And there's so many gifts inside of being exactly where you're at that I would say that's it.
I love that. Okay, if I started over tomorrow,
I would really care about the first salon I went into. I think your first salon home is the foundation for your career.
Yeah, that's actually really good advice. Yeah. The one thing I wish someone would have told me.
Buy a house and save your money and buy a house when you're young.
Oh, yes. I knew I made it when.
I've had a couple of these like moments. I remember one time hearing one of my stylists borrowing my words as if they were their own in a consultation to one of their guests. Yeah. And that made me feel so wonderful as a leader to be able to equip them with those skills. That was early on. I remember I had a stylist last year tell me that the hair symposium was the first time that she had ever had a sleepover with her salon team and like girls. Aww. And like that was like a whole new experience, so that was cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and then just like hearing people's success stories after the symposium. I love knowing that that's what lights people up to open up a studio suite or to create a team or to start their own podcast or whatever it is.
Yeah. What is your biggest flex?
My biggest flex is my daughter.
Oh, I was going to say that.
Yeah, I am obsessed with her. She is the light of my world, and she's off in college, and it's just so cool to be able to see her just completely go into her own self and what she's going to grow. But I also am very proud because I feel like a lot of that confidence was because she had a mama who did the damn thing and did it with her. And I didn't use being a single mom or a mom as an excuse. I used it as my reason. Last week she was at a meeting with me with a couple of sponsors for the hair symposium, and she had amazing insight to weigh in on and had an amazing perspective that she shared with them of just being a young woman, but then also watching me and like what she perceived the industry as. Aww. And I was just so proud of her, and she'll always. It's funny because now I feel like my role as a mom is such like a supporting actor. It's like the supportive role, right? Yeah. Like I'm like not the main character, but she's my main character. She'll always be the light of my life.
That's amazing. So. What is she going to school for?
She's studying psychology, and then she's actually gonna she's gonna either minor in business or marketing, which I think is perfect because as a business owner, it is all psychology and it is all about that connection with people. So I look forward to watching her and seeing what she does. Aww. I have this pipe dream though. Do you know Heather Bagby from Summit Salon Business Center?
Yes.
So I remember one of the first times I heard her speak, she talked about how her parents were salon owners or beauty school owners or something like that, and she went off to college far away and never wanted anything to do with the beauty industry. But as soon as she got out of college and kind of knew how to run a business and build a business, she felt very called to go back and work on the family business. And now, she leads one of the most amazing business consulting groups in our industry. So I have this pipe dream that Dakota and I will work together one day, and she'll be saving me with her wisdom.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. I've tried to get both, almost all of my kids. 3 of them are like older and they don't live at home anymore. I've tried to get everybody to do hair and nobody wants to do it.
I know that she doesn't want to be a hairstylist either. Yeah, she does not want to do hair.
Well, that's okay. Yeah, like you say, maybe there's something down the road that you could do together.
Exactly. Yeah. She did think about aesthetics for a minute.
Okay.
And I literally was like, okay, so then I'm going to open an aesthetics wing inside of the salon. And I think she was like, okay.
She's like, never mind. I don't want it anymore. Never mind. I didn't even say that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so what advice would you give a stylist who wants to start their own event or education platform, but, they're just really too scared to kind of put themselves out there?
Yeah, I would say that you should find a mentor and find someone that's doing that and buddy up with them. And even if it's not something like, somebody recently asked me like, oh, I really wanted to get into this salon and have this lady mentor me, but they're not hiring right now. And so now I'm just so defeated. It's like, well, girl, find somebody else. Like, there's so many people, and maybe she's not hiring right now, but I bet there's a way that you could still get her to mentor you. You just have to be creative and leverage like yourself. I personally, if somebody said that they weren't hiring to me, I would be showing up at that salon for any education opportunity.
Absolutely.
I would be hyping up their social media. I would still be asking her questions in DMs.
Yes.
I would offer myself to even go in and shadow. I mean, I would work for free. That's the type of person I am. So like, if that's what it takes to get an experience or get to know that person, that I am so down for that. And some people won't do that, but you probably, if you're that person that's like, I don't want to do that, you don't want it hard enough.
Exactly. That's what I say too. Yep.
Yeah. And you don't have to work for free forever and like know that worth, but you have to like have a plan.
Yeah.
Work hard.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What is your next goal? Like, what's something that you are going to work towards?
I am growing this vision of the Symposium. I feel like my working behind the chair business and my salon team business, those are 2 that I have enough momentum, I have enough muscle memory that I feel like I can still grow those and crank those.
Yeah.
Within limits. But the hair symposium is the one where that's the one that keeps me up at night. That's the one that I really have this like eager vision of like, okay, I need to get in this room and I need to have this person mentor me. And so I need to build this opportunity. That's where I'm really focused.
Yes. Love it. What are you most grateful for in this season of your career?
My husband and my team. Yeah. I feel like when your family is good, your work is good.
Absolutely.
And you're like, it's so easy, right?
Yes.
And I feel like I'm in an easy flow of life and success right now. And I don't take that for granted because it's not always that way and it won't stay that way forever.
Yeah.
But especially this year with having my daughter move out, my husband has been so supportive and aware of how to show up for me.
Yeah.
And then he's always like my biggest hype girl with my business.
Yeah.
And so, he's always like the you do you type of thing. So I'm really grateful for that. Yeah.
Yes, that's amazing. If you could leave listeners with one reminder today, what would that be?
To invest in yourself and to not underestimate what you can do for yourself. You are working in an industry that is a multi-billion-dollar industry. There's no reason why you can't have as much of that pie as you want, and that it's there for the taking. You just have to be brave enough and eager enough to do it.
Yes, love it. So last thing, where can people find you, book with you, or how do people get info on the Hair Symposium?
Yeah, so I mean, follow the Hair Symposium on Instagram, on social media. You can find more information on the website, thehairsymposium.com. You can find me and my salon on Instagram as well. I'm Danielle Nishiyama, and I'm at Craft Studio Spokane. My salon is located in Spokane, Washington, and that is where the hair show is going to be in October. It's 25th and 26th. I'm so excited to get to know more people in this industry, and so please message me.
Yes.
Come sit in my chair. Do whatever you want.
Yes, and come to the show.
Oh, yeah, duh. Come to the show.
All right, Danielle. Well, we would just love to thank you for coming. It was so nice meeting you. You really are an inspiration, I think, to everyone in the industry. So I really appreciate you coming on the pod today. Yeah, and I'm, super excited to see what happens in your future. So
okay, and then I know. Are you going to be at the Hair Symposium?
I am.
Yes.
Rinse and Repeat is going to be live at the Hair Symposium.
Yes,
So that
yes.
is definitely happening. We're super excited about it. So you can check us both out at the Hair Symposium. And that officially was another rinse. So go and repeat it where it matters. Okay, I'm going to stop that recording. Okay, and now I'm going to unplug this because I want Chantel. You did so good.
Thank you.
Good. So good.
You guys did it. Sorry, and I posted several things to this story.
I know. So she'll be with me. She'll be with me when we go to that.
Okay, so that was going to be my next question was what you needed from me.